Good morning, welcome to my YouTube channel, and I hope that you all are happy and well at your homes during this emergency crisis of coronavirus. Okay, so basically, so far we have completed lots of concepts of our chapter, lots of concept in the syllabus of class 10 syllabus. So uh, today we are starting our next topic, the first chapter of history, nationalism in Europe. Okay, in this unit we have to read about two chapters, nationalism in Europe and nationalism in India. So first of all we have to read about the term nationalism. We have to understand the meaning of nationalism. Okay, so nationalism in Europe. Basically we have to read nationalism in Europe. How nationalism has evolved in Europe, how nationalism has came in Europe, how Europe accommodate their reaction or the situation, how situation has changed, how people gain the political rights and political freedom in Europe, what are the things and what are the consequences of the nationalism which came in Europe. Okay, so first of all we have to understand the meaning of nationalism. Basically if we talk about nationalism, then we can say that nationalism is a term which is made by a particular word, nation. So first of all, nation is a term, basically all the peoples. Nation means the peoples who are residing in a particular territory and have bind together by their common history, by their common language, by their common culture. Okay, so from that a nation is formed. Okay, all the peoples who are residing, who are living in a particular territory or particular geographical area and have a common history of common history, common culture, common language from the ancient time, so that is known as a nation. And the tied together, not together, and the feeling of oneness, that is known as nationalism. Means the love for one's geographical area, one's geographical territory is known as nationalism. Okay, that is known as nationalism. Okay, so basically nationalism has emerged from a particular term named nation. Okay, so we have to understand this term in a contextual way in the following examples, which I will give you in the further topic. Okay, so basically we have to understand nation and nationalism. Nation means all the people who are particularly living in a geographical territory. Nation means the peoples who are living in a particular territory and have a common culture, common language, and common history and common cultural traditions. Okay, that is nation. Nationalism is what? Nationalism means all the peoples of that territory have love for that territory, have feeling of oneness, means उनमें एक होने की भावना हो उस एरिया को लेके. So that is known as nationalism. And basically nationalism has evolved through many struggles in Europe, and then it transported by Napoleon Bonaparte to the rest part of the Europe, and after that it introduced in Asia and Africa and as well as so the whole world. Okay, so nationalism is a very powerful guiding force to emerge as a powerful powerful ideology which changes the whole world, which change the whole world. Okay, so let's start nationalism by taking the first example of the print made by Frederic Soriot. Frederic Soriot was the French artist who made a picture in 1848 to signify the emerging nationalism in Europe. Okay, the emergent things which came in Europe, by the help of this picture he signify the basic values of the nationalism. Okay, in this picture he distributes his picture into four main parts. In the first part he show the pupils are marching together. The pupils are lying in a particular way, and the pupils are identified through nations and by their flag and national costume. The first thing. The second thing was the democratic institution, the shattered parts of the democratic institution, the parts of the democratic institution shattered and spread all the way. Okay, the shattered and the shattered parts of the democratic institution, the shattered parts of the monarchical institutions are spread in the land. Okay, the third print he show us that all the peoples of Europe are marching together to pay the homage to Statue of Liberty. ओके, मीन्स वो सब क्या कर रहे थे, स्टैच्यू ऑफ लिबर्टी को एक लाइन में जा रहे थे पूरे यूरोप के लोग, और पूरे के पूरे यूरोप में पूरे पूरे एक लाइन में वो क्या करते जा रहे थे, स्टैच्यू ऑफ लिबर्टी को सैल्यूट कर रहे थे, होमेज कर रहे थे. ओके, व्हाट वाज द सिग्निफिकेंस ऑफ स्टैच्यू ऑफ लिबर्टी? स्टैच्यू ऑफ लिबर्टी वाज द स्टैच्यू which was made in United States of America, which represent as the epitome, which represent the लिबर्टी एज अ फीमेल फिगर. मतलब फीमेल फिगर के जरिए वो लिबर्टी को दिखा रहे. जैसे हम लोग इन आवर कंट्री वी हैव followed भारत माता concept, so that is the same concept in Europe. The nationalism or liberty is shown by signified by represented by a female figure named what? Statue of Liberty. Statue of Liberty have torch of enlightenment in one hand and the right of charter in another hand. Okay, all the nation, all the peoples pay homage to the Statue of Liberty. The French, the USA and Switzerland as already nation states, they forward the वो आगे चले गए हैं, and then they were followed by the peoples of France. Okay, in which basically at that time in 1848 when Soriot created this image, at that time basically the Frederick Soriot, okay, at the time in 1848 when Frederick Soriot created this image, at the time France was also going through a struggle in 1848. Okay, so basically United States and Switzerland crossed the Statue of Liberty to pay the homage, and after that they were followed by the peoples of the Europe like Germany, France, Holland, Holland, Belgium, Germany, Italy, and all the people followed the area. Okay, the last picture he represent, the last print he represented in his picture was all the spiritual gods, all the gods look upon the whole event to personify, to represent as the unity among the European and American nation. Okay, so that is a print made by Frederick Soriot to represent, to signify, to give us a glimpse of the European or the American nationalism, emerging of nationalism in Europe and America. Okay, so that is I made the first example of a European nationalism and European nation was the French. Okay, as you all know, in class 9 syllabus, in the class 9 chapter, the first chapter of history of class 9 is the French Revolution. In this chapter, last time we had read about the French Revolution. Okay, so basically the first nation which gained momentum by the nationalism was France. Okay, as you know that United States of America in 1789 Constitution was enacted in United States of America, and after that France became the first nation who adopted the certain policy, certain values of nationalism. Okay, basically in 1789 a popular struggle, a popular revolution has brought away all the evil things from the French, and they introduced certain reforms and certain things in the French Revolution, French Constitution. Okay, they formed the French Constitution in 1791. Okay, in which they give freedom and rights to the peoples of the France. Okay, and they have also made Parliament of States General. They have also made a law in the Constitution so that the Parliament has represented by 745 members. Okay, that is the example of French nation, and they have also introduced a certain language, French language, in the whole French nation. Okay, and after that they have also introduced the French flag. Okay, so that signifies many things of the French nations. Okay, after that there were certain changes in the French Revolution, like they introduced La Citoyenne and Law Citoyen for the whole citizens. They gave the name of Law Citoyen to all the persons who are residing in the French nation. Okay, they introduced unified laws, unified administration in the France. Okay, so basically after that, when these things happen, then there came a military ruler or military general named Napoleon Bonaparte in France. Okay, Napoleon Bonaparte was the greatest military general of the 18th century. Okay, he introduced certain changes in France, and after that these changes were followed by different nation of the Europe. Okay, basically Napoleon Bonaparte introduced many changes in Europe. In 1804 when Napoleon was the person who crushed the democracy of France, But he also introduced certain changes in France so that whole of the Europe take the example of that things to introduce in their own nations, to introduce in their own countries. Okay, so basically, if we talk about Napoleon Bonaparte, then we can say that Napoleon Bonaparte is the greatest military general of the 18th century. He introduced certain changes in the French nation. First of all, he introduced a Napoleonic Code in 1804 to unified the law system. Okay, in 1804 he introduced a Napoleonic Code according to the which whole French nation was ruled by certain rules and regulations. Okay, the second thing he introduced in the France was to introduce national currency. Okay, certain unified currency, one currency. He also introduced one taxation, one tax. There are in all the France there were many taxation system. So he introduced one tax, one currency, one weight and measurement, one laws, one administration in the whole nation. So that is why we call France as a nation. Why we call French as a nation? Because Napoleon introduced so many things so that France converted into a nation. I will talk about all the things. First of all, he introduced Napoleonic Code according to which the French nation was ruled by different same rules and regulation. The French administration was same. A national currency was introduced to unify the French nation. The same administration, same rules and regulations, same currency, same weight and measurement. Okay, same taxation system. Okay, and after that they also introduced the French flag, French song. Okay, so all these things remind us that French was become a nation in the 18th and the 17th century, in the 18th century or 19th century, in terms of its values and all the things which he introduced in it up. After that, Napoleon take the concept of nationalism in the whole parts of Europe, on the rest part of the Europe. Basically, as you all know, Napoleon was the greatest military general in the 19th century or the 18th century, and he take the concept of nationalism in the rest of countries because he started a campaign to win all the countries of the Europe. Okay, basically he was very ambitious person and hoped to win all the countries of the Europe, so that he introduced the concept of nationalism in all the parts of Europe which he had won at that time. Okay, also when wherever the French army goes, all the peoples welcome that army. Why? Because they were seen as the harbingers of liberty, harbingers of equality, harbingers of fraternity. Okay, they were welcomed in Mainz, Milan, or in Mainz, Milan, Warsaw. In all these places, they were seen as the harbingers of liberty. Okay, so after that, but after when some time spent, the reaction of the local population changes when French began a campaign to win all the countries of Europe, like in Belgium, Holland, Switzerland, Italy. He won all these countries to introduce the concept of nationalism in these countries, but he introduced certain changes in that. But he also introduced forceful occupation of that countries. Forceful occupation means he introduced many things, like first of all he introduced the concept of first of all he introduced taxation. Okay, he increased the taxation in that countries. Okay, he recruited the peoples from that countries, forceful recruitment from that country. So by the examples of that things, the reaction of the local population hostile to the Napoleon Bonaparte. Okay, so at that time French nation was built and the concept of nationalism was brought from French to the whole of Europe by the Napoleon Bonaparte. And after that, in 1815, when Napoleon was defeated by the European powers like Austria, Prussia, Germany. Okay, Austria, Prussia, Britain. These countries were defeated the Napoleon to restore the old monarchical order in Europe. Okay, So this is the last topic of today classes. I hope that you all understand the concepts of nationalism, and basically if you have any doubt and any query regarding any topic, then you can call me and ask me in the comment section. I also hope that by the suggestion of yours, I can also improve the language or the things which must be improved by so that you can understand more deeply all the chapters. Okay, so uh, hope you understand all the things, and this is the first part of the video. Tomorrow I will give you the second lecture of this video from the rise of nationalism in Europe. Okay, and after that all the things. Okay, so thank you for watching me. Bye, and be healthy, be safe.